I feel like that like makes it like an even playing field though, right? Sorry guys, we had no sound on Facebook and YouTube. Little glitch, but we're getting going with Cruz and Bella Bouchard. Makes it like an even playing field though, right? Like you guys can go and basically have a whole new track. Like I know that when you guys started, you were going there last year, right? And it was like, oh crap, like all these kids know the track, like everybody's like one step ahead of us. Now it's like totally wipes the slate clean, and you guys both did really well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Bella,
you.
how did you feel about the weekend overall for you?
Overall weekend was pretty good. I know we had a couple clutching problems and we had to work on my shocks a little bit more. The car wasn't just set up to where I wanted it completely. I wasn't as comfortable in it, so I know we need to bring it back to the house and prep it more and get everything to where we like it so that we continue to make good performance.
But you learned a lot though, right? Because it sounds like you already have a plan of attack to see what you can do better.
Yeah, I got a pretty good game plan as to what's going to happen next round. I know I got to fix a couple of things, but mostly just work on my driving too.
Yeah, totally. Were you a little timid out there with the new track, or were you just like ready to rip?
No, it was fun. I mean, practice was a little like rough, just trying to figure everything out. So much people on the course. I was like kind of freaking out a little bit, but after that, I got pretty comfortable and just put my head down and started going.
Yeah, and
It was fun.
the track changed a lot. You guys were able to keep it pretty consistent too. Hey,
Yeah.
so we had a
Yeah.
comment come in. Car One Fabrication said, "Cruz, where's the mullet? You got it hiding or what?"
I didn't get it.
Is that what you were supposed to do? You win the race, you get a
Mm,
mullet.
well, I was supposed to do it before the first round, and then so we were supposed to do it on Friday because last year we saw this person on Miller Road. They had a $20 mullet sign, and that's where we were
Nuh-uh.
gonna go, and then it was closed. So
No
yeah.
way. Hey,
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
nice hoodie,
like
by the way.
bucks, and
Thank
it was
you.
funny.
What do you think if your brother gets a mullet?
I back honestly. He should definitely.
That's gonna be so funny when he does. I had a couple questions about like the track in general because when we were looking at it from the live broadcast booth, it looks so different on camera than it did in real life. I actually went and took a picture of it after the races. Did you guys have to drive on it when it was a little bit slick?
Yeah. So the first moto, no, Saturday, our heat and our main, it was kind of dusty a little bit. Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
look how gnarly that is. Like, it's all
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
It's all like turns into like,
That.
and it's all hard packed, and then like, I don't know. It's just crazy, right? So, how did it feel in the car?
Rough. There was like pretty minor changes we had to do because we had to deal with different things on days. So on Saturday it was kind of dusty and a little bit dry. On Sunday it was pretty like grooved and packed and slick, and it was just a different change, different stuff.
Cruz, what does that mean? Like, how do you forecast that or like plan ahead to make sure that you're getting the right setup for the next moto?
Um, Probably just remembering when you come back to camp, like how the track was, knowing that 5, 6, 7 races are going to be after or ahead of you. And then they're going to most likely water before your race, so that could change things tire pressure wise, car setup. If they roll over one of the jumps more, so you can hit it harder, so you need a stiffer suspension. It goes into many different factors.
Dude, sounding like a true veteran. That's pretty sweet that you know all that stuff. Do you and your sister kind of vibe off each other and be like, "Oh, so what happened to your car, Bella, or what happened in this corner?" and like tell each other
Yeah,
good lines and different, I don't know, secrets for the next race?
yeah,
That's pretty
for
cool,
sure.
man. That's like a pretty big team effort. It makes it so that you guys probably both can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing each other's lines is definitely an advantage that other people don't have, is because we see the track on different perspectives.
Do you guys both use the same, pretty much the same setup, or you guys have way different driving style?
We have different driving style and different setup.
Dang, that's pretty cool, man. And but the cars look like they're pretty close to being the same, so that's neat that you guys are able to do that. All right,
Yeah.
so we don't have too much more time. We got about 8 minutes left before we got to kick you guys off and get the other guests on. So I'm just going to tell everybody who we have coming up. So obviously we have Cruz and Bella on right now. Jacob Geisendorf's going to come on with Corey Willis. Eddie Ensign's going to come on. Jaden Lindemood's going to come on. Holly Mulligan's going to come on. Fan favorite over there. Brian Atkinson. Colin Truitt. Hunter and Cody Miller and Cody Taylor. So we got a stacked show, man. Pretty cool to see all those drivers wanting to come and hang out with us on the Dirt Life show, huh?
Yeah, I love the Dirt Life.
Hey, look it. I'm going to clip that and put it up for us. So you actually got to come and hang out in the broadcast booth, but too, Bella, what did you think of that? Was that like super crazy? What?
Different ball. That was a whole different ball game. Like racing and then going to see what you guys look at was pretty cool.
It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
I feel like steering the car is a little bit more fun though.
But I had fun.
Hey, Cruz, so we talked a little bit about on the live stream, we talked about like driving style and how like to be smooth, you got to really be easy on the steering wheel, and you can use your feet, your brake and your gas to be able to, maneuver the back of the car and like keep it planted. Like I feel like that was such a huge advantage if drivers knew how to do that this weekend just because of the track conditions.
Yeah. It's definitely a big factor knowing how to 2-foot drive, because when you're coming into a corner and having to switch your feet over to get onto the brake to whip the back end over and having to get back onto the throttle quickly, it's a little bit difficult. So thankfully I actually started driving pretty young, so I was able to learn the 2-foot driving type of thing.
Dude, you're
And
still
then,
young, bro.
Well, yeah, but I was younger, you could say. But definitely being smoother on the steering wheel's big, because you don't want to be jerking if it's like, so say you steer one way really hard, your car's going to want to whip, and then it's going to have a hard time getting back the other direction, so you want to be smooth, and then it'll bring you back around.
Yeah, exactly, because then you just start juggling the steering wheel, right? So it's way better when
Yeah.
you do that. Did you also learn that at a pretty young age too, Bella?
Yeah, I grew up driving. My dad always taught me, and I don't know. I would go with him on rides in his cars, and I had a 172, so I just grew up doing that.
Yeah, it's neat that you guys know all that stuff already at such a young age. So I just want to give a shout out. Thank you everybody for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. I see a couple comments coming in that the audio wasn't working, but thank you guys for joining us, letting us know. A bunch of your guys' friends look like they're joining and hanging out too. What was one of the funnest parts of the whole weekend? You go first, Bella.
Ooh, definitely the new track. Like, Brian did such a good job with setting that up and making sure that everyone was comfortable and having a good time and safe. And that was probably my fun time. So thank you, Brian.
Yeah, he did a good job making it because it was reverse. Like, then it wasn't the same way the years before, right? So it honestly...
Backwards. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it honestly added so much diversity to the track. Like, the racing all weekend was so intense.
Yeah.
Did you like the reverse track, Cruz?
Yes, and some spots no. No, because it was some of the harsh landings on the end, but otherwise it was a good time coming in, and like you were saying earlier, everyone has a fresh slate, so it's like everyone's setting new lap times, and it's like just everybody's new to the track, so it's fun.
Yeah, I feel like that makes it a really big advantage to the guys that can figure out the track quickly. So, so we're at IMG Motorsports today. I don't know if you guys can see it. See that cool picture of James in the cartoon hanging out of his side-by-side? Pretty rad, right? So thank you to those guys. James just joined us and asked if he can do grinding because they're working in the shop right now. Building race cars, having some fun. So
Always.
when you guys are going home, what's the debrief like together? Because you guys are together. You guys both had completely different race weekends. You know, your races were individualized. What do you guys talk about on the way home so that you guys can both get better?
Just kind of recapping everything, like each other know like what we saw, like what I saw that Cruz didn't, and he saw that I didn't. It's definitely helps us get a different perspective and taking better lines, looking at each other's GoPro footage. It's all just learning.
You do the same thing, Cruz?
Yeah, you always want to give other people information because it's at the end of the day, it's going to help you out and it's going to help someone else out.
Yeah.
And so it's always helpful. And we also went to the fair on Sunday night.
No
It was
way.
fun.
In Texas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. Why, thanks for the
Yeah.
invite, bro.
Mhm.
Hey, so along with what you were saying, Bella, I really like that because it transitions us into basically what I was going to talk about tonight with everybody is that you guys learn a lot. Like, it's easy for younger people to really absorb and be a sponge when they check out some of the races. And you guys vibe off of each other, but do you guys get to go watch like some of the pro drivers in the pro stock class or the pro outlaw class, which is the pro turbo class, and see the lines that they're taking, how smooth they're driving, and like where they set up passes, all of the different things, and then utilize that for your guys' racing?
Yeah, there's definitely some role models out there that we've looked at, and like, I don't know, just making time to make sure that you look at the big part of drive and react to certain things and react to certain situations while you're driving.
Yeah, and you can visually see how they're doing it, right? I mean, you're a race car driver yourself, so when you see them, you're like, oh, that makes total sense because I slipped up a little bit in that corner, but they did it different, and now I can follow that kind of line or follow that transition and make it a little bit better for me next time.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did you guys get to watch the races together, Cruz, or did you and your buddies go check out the pro races?
I think me, Chase, Caden, and Aaron, we went and watched the pro races.
And then what kind of stuff do you guys talk about, or what kind of stuff do you see out there that you can utilize for your race?
Well, actually, let me correct real quick. Chase actually races in the pro class, so I do watch him a lot, watching his lines that he takes, like how he sets up cars coming on the inside and then comes back to the out. It's pretty cool watching them, seeing what they do.
Yeah, totally. And then you and Chase can go watch like the Pro Turbo class, which is the Pro Outlaw class there together so that you guys can both get lines. When you guys are sitting up there watching, like, do you guys talk about it? Be like, oh, look at that line that we're going to have Hunter and Cody Miller on and Cody Taylor. They're going to probably talk about it as well as Corey from PPI, or PPEI. But do you guys go like, oh, that's so much different than what I did, or that's exactly what I did? Or like, how do you guys talk about it so you guys can absorb all the information and get better?
I feel like people look at things differently. So like me and Cruz would look at something and completely take something different out of it. So it's nice to share it so that we know like, oh, I didn't look at it like this, like that. Maybe I do it.
Yeah, totally different way of doing it. And then when you watch them cruise, is it just like, okay, I got 5 things different I'm going to change for my next moto, and I'm going to cut down my lap time?
Yeah, definitely. Because in the last moto, I believe when I was battling with Landon Safford, they look the same, so you can't really tell.
Landon and
So,
Luke.
Yep, Luke and Landon. But yeah, when I was battling with them towards the end, I remember one of Chase's lines off the hip where you come out and then cut in, and that definitely helped my lap time.
Dude,
And I think that's what helped me out to get the 2:33. So
yeah, that's cool, man. You guys had some pretty fast lap times too. All right, so I got 2 more fun questions for you guys. What is your favorite part of side-by-side racing? Bella, go.
Friends and family and people that you get to meet along the way and build relationships, because you'll have those relationships probably for a really long time.
Dude, that's exactly what the dirt life's all about. We love hearing that. All right, Cruz, what's your favorite part of side-by-side racing? Go.
battling and having fun and talking with friends about the race that you just competed in.
Yeah, and you also like cruising pit bikes, dude. I've seen you.
That too.
All right, and then the last question for the night, tacos or hamburgers?
Tacos.
Tacos.
Nice. All right, we love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Tell your family that we said hello, and I'm glad you guys are back safe.
Thank you.
Great job this weekend. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so we are going to get the PPEI boys on. We're going to have Corey come on, and we're also going to have Jacob Geisendorf come on, talk with them a little bit about their weekend. Texas boys. There we go. We got to get your phone turned a little bit. I think this happened last time, Corey. There we go. Jacob and Corey, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
So, we had a pretty rad weekend of racing at the 2022 Can-Am Texas Outlaw Series. Let me see. How did I say it last time? Presented by Red Bull all weekend, right? It was pretty sweet to get out there, level the playing field with a totally new track in reverse order, and just get back to racing, dude. Round 1 and 2. It was pretty rad. What'd you guys think?
It was sweet. We were figuring.
Uh-oh, we're losing audio. I don't know if you guys have a bad internet connection or anything. Maybe you get a little closer.
What about now?
Sounds a little bit better. What did you guys think of the overall weekend for you?
No, it was good. It was fun. We learned a whole.
Man, I think it's probably your guys' internet connection. Are you connected to Wi-Fi, Corey, or are you on your cell phone?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe ditch the Wi-Fi and just do your LTE or whatever it is. So what Corey gets that figured out, we'll there you go. Is that a little bit better? Wait to see how these guys can connect in just a second here. But yeah, the racing was really good, man. Seems like it's still a little interrupted or whatever you want to call it, a little slow.
Is that better?
Seems like it's kind of coming back a little bit.
Is it the video or just the audio?
Having a hard time with both of them, actually. Maybe go in a different room or something. I'm not sure. Wherever the Wi-Fi is better. All right, well, let me, while he does that, I'm going to thank some of our sponsors. So thank you very much to the guys over at KMC Wheels. Head down to your local 4-wheel parts to grab some new KMC wheels. Thank you guys over at Motul. Perfect timing. Got my Motul hat on. And thank you guys at Shock Therapy. They actually brought the live feed, live stream to us over there in Texas. You can use the code DIRTLIFE. Get yourself some limit straps, steering rack, BSD kits, all kinds of different stuff. Tell them that Dirt Life sent you. Thank you to the guys over at EFX Tires. Thank you to everybody at Evolution Power Sports. Thank you to the guys over at Zollinger Racing Products. Use the code TheDirtLife to get tie rods, radius rods. Match up with those Shock Therapy steering rack. Thank you guys over at Cryo Heat, and thank you to the guys at Solder Weld. All right, hopefully we got a little bit better audio. So tell us about your weekend. Yeah, that sounds way better, Corey. How was your guys' weekend?
It was good. We learned a lot.
Crap, the audio just went away again. I wish everybody could just get California Wi-Fi in Texas, man.
Better?
No, it's terrible, man.
Any better?
No, it's horrible. I mean, it really is terrible. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to kick you guys off if it sucks though, because the show's kind of sucking right now.
Yeah, let me figure it out.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk a little bit more about the races while we get you guys situated. So the track was in reverse, like they said, and man, there was just so much good racing. I remember looking at some of the little kids all the way up to the pros and seeing that every single moto, there was like battles everywhere. There was just tons of battles. Like the first and second guy would be battling. The third and fourth place guy would be battling. Sometimes all of them would battle together. There would be shakeups. I mean, I remember one corner, the leader went back to fourth, and the third place guy went to first. It was like a big juggling match. It was really cool to see. So the track itself lended itself to really good racing, and the weather maintained all weekend. It was really, really cool. So I had a great time out there. We had some other people from California come. Jamie Campbell from Raceco USA came out to support all the Honda Talon guys and check it out and, you know, get a little bit of understanding of what it is like to race over there in Texas. Super, super cool. Vibes were high. First round were really, really good. Yeah, we did have some good tacos. Thank you, Kate. Super hungry right now, and I still got a couple hours before I can go eat. But, yeah, it was a super cool race and a super cool event. The turnout was fantastic. Lots and lots of good racing. Also, the kids, man, just like we talked with Bella and Cruz, I feel like that was the highlight of my whole weekend, was seeing the kids doing so well. Like, they were just killing it, man. Once I saw some of the kids the second day, or even the second moto of the first day, they were like elevating their game so much. Like I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just because the track was new and all of a sudden they got used to it or something. But they started just ripping. Even the 170s, man. There was one girl, I forgot what her name was. I think it was Maggie. But anyways, number 47Y, I do remember that. She was out there in her 170 and she never let off the gas, like wide open. Sometimes she was even banging off the berms, just ripping. It was super cool to see that everybody was so fired up. So she was one of my favorite drivers. And man, we had a bunch of other fan favorites. We actually had Isabella Brunson already comment in. She's going to be wanting to talk with Holly Mulligan when she comes on. She has a lot of fan favorite on the internet. We can get Jacob Geisendorf and Corey Willis back on. Eddie Ensign's going to call in and just as well. A new driver for me. I've never seen him before, and he really impressed me, man. He did a very, very good job out there, doing really well in the class. Colin Truitt ended up taking the win in the pro stock. Chime in a little bit on Instagram as well. It was super cool to see, man. All of the track prep, everything that the crew did to make it so that all the racing was, I don't know, up to par for everybody. It was super, super cool. I mean, they barely had to put any water on the track because the weather was so good. It would sprinkle, like basically water the track for us. It was rad. So we had a good time out there. Lots of support too. So I noticed that a lot of drivers and stuff in the pits were, I don't know what you want to call it, helping each other out, right? So they'd be off the track. They'd be in the same moto, same competition. One driver wouldn't have anything wrong with his car, just kind of needed to prep it, clean it, and get it ready for the second moto. Another driver would come back, and the car would be toast, missing loose bolts or whatever in the front end, like bent rods, whatever it was. And the other drivers would come in, totally help them, and put that thing back together, even loan. It was super cool to see because everybody just wanted to race and make sure that they got through the first two rounds. So got to meet some really cool people afterwards and have dinner and things like that. So that was really neat. Kind of boring for me to talk about, but you guys totally know what I'm talking about when you say like racing as a family and how things work, because that's exactly what it was like for me and for everybody else that was out there, because we all got to hang out and see each other since we haven't seen each other since the 12-hour race, the Outlaw 12-hour race that we had in December. So it was good for all those drivers to be able to come back and have, like I said, high vibes and such good racing. So like I said, the theme that we're kind of going on for today's show, we're going to talk with Corey and Jacob in a little bit here, hopefully still, if they can bring it back. But it's just the kids, man, how they can be such sponges. And the reason that I wanted to bring it up was because, well, my brain doesn't work that good anymore. The older I get, the more kind of stuff I forget and the kind of stuff I have to move on from. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, right? But the kids are like sponges, man. Just like Cruz was saying right now, he can go look and watch the moto of the pro class or whatever other class is and realize that he can take like minuscule different lines, or he notices if other drivers are pedaling it with 2 feet or, being real aggressive on the steering wheel. All that stuff makes a massive, massive difference in the progress and the quickness that they can elevate and grow. So, and just how fast they get. We saw it with Chase Carr as well. There was a couple other kids, Isabella, Caden Isabella, I forgot what his name was, and then Landon Popper. He also had a great weekend. A bunch of kids in the 170 class. Code St. Peter was a kid that he was 8 years old and just straight ripping, like so fast, man. Looked like he's probably been driving since he was 3 years old. So to see all those kids doing so well and just impressing the crap out of everybody. Lots of sponsors that they had on board too. The series is growing a lot, so it's really neat to be able to see all the people enjoying themselves so much. And even the tech area was like, I don't know what you want to call it, growing, because they have more rules, but it's because there's so much more classes and so many more different vehicles. Actually, that's a good thing to touch on too. Tons of different vehicles. We had Hondas, RS1s, Pro Turbo class had Can-Am X3s, obviously, and Razors, Turbo Razors, just a bunch of different vehicles out there. Super cool to see all that diversity. Holly Mulligan, she was driving a Arctic Cat. Just all kinds of stuff. Clearly there was Yamahas. St. Peter reminds me, yeah, Outlaw Series. St. Peter reminds me of Chase Carr a few years ago. Totally, dude. Full pepper. The kids are just ripping now. So, hopefully we can see if Corey and Jacob can come back on. Really want to get those guys on, but if they don't, then actually, you know what we should do? Eddie, I don't know if you're watching the show, but Eddie, why don't you try to join now as well, and we can do your part a little bit early, and then Corey and Jacob can come on later. So Eddie, if you're there, or George White, if you're there as well, why don't you try to join the show now, and we can get you guys on right now. Super cool to be able to meet all of these people as well while we were out there. So thank you to everybody actually for showing us so much love. The live feed turned out fantastic just because there was so much good racing. That whole production crew did a great job too. Badass drone shots, just so much cool stuff. It's Rich. What's up, dude? How are you? Isabella Brunson said it's very glitchy. Isabella, you can go over to Instagram as well. Sometimes on Facebook and YouTube, it just doesn't have the same look and feel. Looks like today it's just having trouble. Looks like we're even getting spammed through some of the YouTube channels too. So might want to just go over to Instagram. Instagram's doing really well. So looks like we are going to get Eddie Ensign on real quick. Let's see how he's doing and what he thought of his weekend. Man, he was fast all weekend. Took him a little bit of time in the first moto to kind of get up to speed, but once he did. Eddie, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It was cool to see you out of the track, man. So I've never met you before, but it was really neat to be able to see your progress through the whole week.
No, for sure. I mean, it's very awesome for me to actually do all that. I mean, I learned a lot during the whole weekend, to be honest, and gonna see what she does for the next weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. So when you go out there on a new track like that, when it's a totally different ball game, basically a level playing field, like what's the first thing that you think? Are you like, all right, we gotta like come out swinging, or are we gonna get used to it, kind of flow into things? Like, what's the vibe?
You talking about like for practice?
I'm just talking about like what's the approach the first day? It's all new, right? So like, you guys have to come out swinging. Like, are you coming out guns blazing, or are you kind of working your way through the weekend?
Definitely like for practice, like when we first get there, we actually just keep going around, like not fast, just like want to learn the track first, and then start slowly learning the lines and like starting learning the corners, and then after that started slowly getting faster and faster and faster, and then start getting really fast.
Yeah, so kind of just rolling with the punches, kind of making car adjustments as you feel. Do you have a spotter that you talk to so they can take notes on what you're feeling?
Yes, that would be George White with W Racing.
Oh, right on, man. So he does a great job. Obviously, he's very knowledgeable at being able to look at the car out from the outside. But when he hears something from you and you guys come back and talk about it, are you guys able to execute and make those changes pretty quickly? So for the second motos and the next day, you're able to go faster?
Yes, for sure. I mean, he points out a few things, and sometimes we'll bring an extra ride and ride around the track, and just he'll point out things and try to show me things, what I need to watch out for and what I can do better on and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so George was telling me as well that you're pretty new to racing. So how long have you been doing it?
Last year was my first year of racing.
And so how do you feel compared to last year then?
Definitely have more confidence, to be honest. And it's going pretty good so far.
It really does seem like it's going good. You were very impressive the first day in the second moto. I don't know what lit a fire under you, but you were really, really driving the crap out of that Honda Talon that you have. It was cool to see.
No, for sure. Yeah, I started driving a little. I mean, the first round, it went really good. I was doing everything nice and smooth. Then I started learning that I can push it a little bit harder just to see what it can actually do. And then the second round, just started. I got a bad start and went around a corner and everything, and it just started. I was kind of starting from the back again, like just from way in the back.
Yep.
And it just kind of just didn't go too good.
Yeah, but when stuff like that happens, it teaches you a lot, right? Like you're able to learn from that stuff. Like we were talking with Cruz and Bella and how they check out some of the pro motos, one of them which you were in, and they can judge stuff like that. Do you also do the same thing, like critique yourself, but then go out and watch maybe like the pro outlaw class or the pro turbo class and see how you can better yourself?
Oh yeah, so for sure, like Cody and Hunter, they sure helped me a lot, to be honest.
When you visually watch them, or you go in and talk to them as well?
Both of them, like just both. Like I go watch them, and they they give me little pointers, and it helps me a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. Hunter just chimed in, actually. It's cool that you guys can have that that vibe together. You know, it's like one of those things. Like we always talk about it in motocross. I know that you're not a big motocross guy, but there's a lot of guys that race the 250 class, and the 450 guys help them. But then 2 years later, they're both in the 450 class, and all of a sudden they're battling each other, right? Like one of these days, you're going to be battling against Hunter, Cody. Everybody in those pro class or the pro turbo class. It's going to be pretty cool, man. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Oh, I sure am, to be honest. I mean, it'll definitely be a few years. I mean, I just need a lot more to learn, and I'll definitely be up in that turbo class pretty soon, in a couple of years.
So when you think about those goals like that and stuff, do you kind of break it down or like reverse engineer some of those goals and have it so that you can do little milestones and little things to get to that big goal?
No, for sure. You kind of cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
No worries. Yeah, it seems like your Wi-Fi is a little bit bad. The visuals not good, but we're gonna keep going anyways. I was basically saying, like, you have big goals to be in the pro turbo class and battle against all the top drivers, but do you kind of break it down so that you have little milestones that you meet so that you can make sure that you're achieving that larger goal?
Yes, I would say so. There's definitely some things that I'm starting to watch out for, and I'm starting to look out for, and there's a lot of things I still need to learn, to be honest.
That's good that you know that, though, right? Because that means that you have an open mind, so you can, like I said before, absorb this stuff like a sponge.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm observing a lot, and like a sponge, like you said.
So, what's been? Oh, actually, you know what? Let me ask you this question: what was your sketchiest moment of the weekend?
Definitely when I rolled the car.
Give us a rundown of what happened.
So, basically just started from the back, and
what day was it, on the second day?
And yeah, it was the second day. It was the last race because the other three races went really good, but this last race just didn't really go too well. I was on the line, and launch mode didn't really work, so I went up to manual. I just had to go ahead and go, and it kind of logged off the start, and I just kind of went. I was kind of mad because I was kind of not. Well, I wouldn't say I was mad, but I was just kind of starting to drive a little more aggressive because I was kind of starting to go towards the back. So I just went to the corner, came in a little too hot. Didn't know it was a little slippery. Went that thing, kind of slippery, went sideways, and it just hit a berm and caught the corner, and it just took me.
Oh man, and we call that be getting anxious, right? Like you let your anxiousness take over, and every single racer, no matter who it is, has had that happen at some point.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm glad it kind of happened towards the beginning because it makes me learn a lot. So I'll definitely be noticing that in the next time, so that way I can watch out for it.
Yeah, totally. I really appreciate that you're so open and so willing to talk about this stuff, and to make sure that you know, I guess, is it called, self-criticism maybe? I don't know what it is, but you know what you did wrong, and you're able to move forward with it in a positive manner and fix those things.
No, for sure. I mean, I want to get better. That's just what I want to do.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of mean by the milestones and the goals and stuff, is pretty much exactly that. And when you have an open mind like that and you're able to see what other people are doing better and to understand how to get better, it makes you get on the fast track to getting faster.
No, for sure. So, like, the first year, I was just kind of go out there having fun, and I was pretty hard-headed. So, Mr. George and, like, my dad and even Jacob, the PPI, he would come over there and, show me show me some things, and I would kind of just say, like, I would just kind of like act like I didn't really care because I was pretty hard headed. And then this year, all I want to do is learn. I want to get faster and everything.
That's totally cool. And I already had this conversation with you after the races, but I mentioned it on the live stream, and I also mentioned it to you directly. Like, you have so much speed already, and you have natural driving talent, like George was saying, and it's only like a matter of time if you just calm it down and harness that talent that you can really, really start seeing some extra speed in the vehicle and lap times.
No, for sure. I mean, I'll start slowly getting better and better. I just put it all in once, and I need to definitely calm down a little bit, and I'll definitely show it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that you can take it to heart and know what you got to do better. It's really cool too to understand because you've been doing this for a very short period of time, and you're already very well. So you got to give yourself a pat on the back for that too.
No, for sure.
All right, so another question for you. What's your favorite part of side-by-side racing?
Definitely just driving the car and just, what I really like is my family come out there and watch me. I mean, it really helps me a lot, and it just promotes me a lot, actually, because it's like, I mean, I want to do better just for my family, and I want them to see me go up there and to the front.
Right on. Did any of your family, are they into racing and stuff too, or no? Are you the first one?
No, not really. I mean, we're into side-by-sides, but we're not really into racing. That makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense. So do you guys go on trail rides and stuff too? A lot of our fans and the people that listen to the show go on trail rides.
No, for sure. Like, we have our own camp, like, on a river. So we usually go, like, almost every weekend, just ride side-by-side all day long.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is anybody that wants to come camp out with you, we can just come hang out anytime.
Yeah, that's basically how it is. And we got a couple campers that come in there, and we got water, everything, and we just electricity, and kind of stay out the whole time. And I just go out there and just ride around all the time, all day long, and that's pretty much how. I got a lot of seat time, just not a lot of racing time.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I like that because a lot of people in that listen to the show and watch the show, actually, you could probably tell and give them some advice. They ask, how do I get into side-by-side racing? And a lot of them already have side-by-sides, go to the dunes, go to the river, trail riding, whatever. But how did you get into it?
Into it from my dad. My dad used to really be big into them. Like, he would just go riding around with his friends. Like, they'd go river riding all the time. And slowly we started getting a couple more side-by-sides to where we all just had one each. And that's basically how it started.
And then how did it end up getting into racing?
Oh, how I got into racing? So Mr. George actually comes to our camp as well. But I've only really met him like last year. So we were going kayaking, and he asked me if I wanted to come work for him. I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds awesome. So a few days later, I came to his house, and he started showing me some things, and started showing me some things about the shocks and stuff. And then a few days later, he asked me if I wanted to race for him. And I was like, shoot, heck yeah, that sounds awesome. So we went to one of the races just to go, don't race, just go to one of the races and see how it goes. And then next time we brought a little bike so we could ride around and see how it would do. And then when the series started for next year, we started racing the whole series. That's basically how it started.
Yeah, that's super cool. And when you say Mr. George, you're talking about George White from Double E Racing. So you help him out too then, huh?
Yes, I'm actually one of his helpers for shocks. Like, I take them apart and he tunes them.
Right on. So that means that you have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the shock department because you can actually feel it in the seat of your pants, so to speak, when you're out there on the course, and you can visualize what you need to change to make it better.
No, for sure. I mean, I've actually started noticing even more. Like, every time I'll do some things, I was like, I kind of want it to be a little smoother, and we would change up something, and it's a lot smoother. It's basically how it starts.
That's so cool. You fine-tuning it and making it better for yourself. What has been your favorite part of side-by-side racing so far?
Basically just being in that thing and feeling the speed.
Yeah, it definitely gets addictive, right?
No, it's very addicting to be.
Yeah, so that adrenaline rush, Yeah, I mean, you can get that in when you go on trail rides or the dunes or wherever, but it's completely different when you have a dude like 2 inches from you or banging doors with somebody, right?
Oh, dude, it's pretty crazy, but I mean, you kind of just gotta be do this the whole time with the throttle. Don't I mean it's just play with it and everything, and just learn it.
Yeah,
Learn how it's
exactly.
gonna really do it, and then let off. Know when to let off, and then know when to put it back on the gas.
Dude, totally. Jacob Geisendorf just commented in. I don't know if they're going to be able to come back on the show, so thank you for coming on early. It was cool to see all you guys, man. And you're battling with some fantastic drivers. Like, who's been your stiffest competition so far?
So far, I mean, it's gonna be Colin Truitt, and that's just one person I'm going for, and definitely Jacob and Cohen.
Yeah, there's some pretty fast dudes, man. And even some of the kids like Chase Carr, he did really well in the later motos. He was in a rent-a-ride this time, so he's gonna get a new car. It'll be cool to see all you guys battling, man. I like foresee some serious racing coming this year.
No, I mean, I already feel it, to be honest. I mean, I got my feet wet, and I'm starting to see it pretty good.
Dude, that's so cool, man. I love the fire that's inside your belly, man. It's cool to see.
Oh, dude, I can already feel it, to be honest.
You got some pretty good people that help you out, though, too. Who's been the main people in your program?
So you mean like who put the thing together and help it, or?
Yeah, well, I know S3 built the car for you. Obviously, George White is helping you, and there's a couple other people that are helping you as well. So I figured you could give them some love.
So it'd be like 3 of his friends. One of them, mainly my dad, who did like all the electrical work of the whole thing, and then another one would be Mr. Anthony. That's one of his great friends, and one of my great friends as well. And another one would be John Husser, which is another person that's really good with putting them together. And we got this thing done in 3 days.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's pretty sick.
It's cool that you guys did that, though, man. Hard work. Did you ever think it was going to be this much work to race a side-by-side? Because it takes so much time, man.
Dude, to be honest, I did not know that it was going to take this much work, to be honest. Thought it was going to be a little easier, but it's just getting harder and harder.
So when I started racing side-by-sides, I came from dirt bikes, and I was like, oh, okay, we're just adding 2 wheels. It'll just be double the amount of work. No problem. Like, I can do that. But little did I know it was going to be like 10 to 20 times the amount of work than 2 wheels.
No, I mean, I believe it. I mean, even 2 wheels is actually more dangerous than 4 wheels.
Yeah, totally. Just the amount of work, though, man. All right, so we're going to get, excuse me, some of our other guests on in just a second here. Jaden Lindemood's going to come on and hang out with us. So we got a final question for you. Tacos or hamburgers?
You know what? I'm going to have to say neither on that because I'm picky.
Oh, really? What's your vibe? What are you eating?
Chicken tenders.
Oh, big chicken tenders guy over here. All right.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Give me the inside scoop. So if you ever win a championship, I got to get you some chicken tenders, huh?
That's right. That's exactly what I need.
What do you dip it in? Are you going with like Louisiana hot sauce? Are you going with like some ketchup, ranch?
Neither.
Oh, you just run them stock?
Plain.
Dang, dude. I would have never thought that, man.
No, yeah, man. I'm just a picky eater, to be honest. Not even crawfish.
Hunter Miller said the kid eats tilapia, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do eat that, to be honest.
Right on, man. We're going to get Jacob Lindemood on in just a second here. I really appreciate you chiming in. Thank you to George for getting it all set up, too. You did a great job this weekend, man. I'm glad that you have a level head on you and able to know what you need to do to move forward. So keep it going.
No, thank you, man. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, no worries.
I would like to thank some sponsors, to be honest.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'd like to thank PPI, Hess, HMF, Baldwin, Driven, and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, you did a good job, man, representing your sponsors well. So keep doing that, and we'll see you on the podium hopefully next time at rounds 3 and 4.
No, you know what? I really want to see myself up there, to be honest.
All right, cool, dude. All right, well, thanks, Eddie. I really appreciate it, man. We'll let you go.
All right, later, man.
See you guys. Super cool to see him, man. He's definitely got the fire in his belly to be able to do better. So I like seeing that. I like to be able to see that he's been doing so well with, I don't want to say a little amount of racing because I don't know how much he did last year, but with the minimal amount of racing and the time he's been in it, just we'll call it a year and a half or so. It's so cool to see how stoked he is, man. I really, really can appreciate that, and obviously the people that are supporting him as well. So, Jaden, I don't know if you're watching, but you're more than welcome to jump on anytime. We can get you on and hang out a little bit. The kids, man, they're freaking sponges. Like, it's kind of like I thought it was going to be super cool to talk about it right now, but it's getting to me a little bit because I want to have that same ability to soak up all that knowledge and improve all of the stuff that we do too. So we'll get Jaden on here, hang out with him for a little bit. He did fantastic this weekend. It's really cool to see, especially all the drivers and the way that they think. Jaden, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing really well. Can you tilt your phone down a little bit so we can see you a little bit better?
Yeah,
There you go. It's looking good, man. So, Jane Lindemood, what class did you race this weekend at the rounds 1 and 2 of the Outlaw series?
Expert.
So, it was stock expert, or what was it?
Yes, sir. Stock expert.
You did really well, right?
Yes, sir. For the first day, I got third place, and the second day, I forgot to pull on the scale, so I got disqualified.
Oh,
So-
man, you're not going to make that mistake again, huh?
No, I won't do that again.
So let's tell everybody a little bit about that, actually. So, because it happened to our other guest, Eddie Ensign, a little bit too. When you go out and race in these stock classes, the different vehicles are required to weigh different weights. So I'll just throw out an example. Say like an RS1 is 1,600 pounds and YXZ or a Talon is 1,700 pounds. I don't know what it is, but so you go out on the track, you race, and then you come back. And before you can do anything, before you take the car back to the pits, you have to go through the tech weight scales and get your car weighed, right?
Yeah, it's also hard to remember because all last year we know we didn't have to do that, so it's a whole new ball game on having to remember what to do. But it was a learning experience. We won't be doing that again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Brian Atkinson just said 1650 across the board. So it's pretty crazy though because a couple people forgot, man. It's like I don't know. It reminds me of an old Supercross race that I saw that Ryan Dungey and Ryan Villapoto both forgot to take the Joker lane, and they lost the races because of it. And like that's a lot of money. So it's crazy to see that easily those mistakes can be made, but you're not going to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Won't be doing that again.
7FPP joined Dirt Life Show. Thanks for coming down to Texas. I would just appreciate you guys welcoming me over there. Everybody had open arms for all of us guys from California coming out there, not just me. So it was really cool to be able to hang out with everybody. So what was one of the favorite parts of your weekend, Jaden?
Really just getting to have a whole new competition with all my buddies, Luke, Landon, Cruz. Just it's a fun competition between all of us four up there up front and battling for the win.
Yeah, you guys were pretty neck and neck the whole time.
Yeah, it was a fun race.
Hey, so I just saw that you were wearing your sunglasses. Sponsor proud of, huh?
Yeah, I got Heatwave to sponsor me. Yeah, they sent out the whole team some sunglasses and some merch to wear.
Dude, nice. Was that hard to get a sponsorship, or did you just reach out to him and then do your own thing?
Yeah, and I had my crew chief, Cody, help me out. He knows some people up there, so he helped me out get that.
It's super cool to see not just getting better on the racetrack, but using all of your networking and I don't know what you want to call it, business skill set to get a sponsor. So you know what we call those kind of sunglasses over here in California?
What's that?
Hater blockers, blocking all the hate, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those things are super cool, but I'm proud of you for getting sponsors and doing the business end of things too, especially at such a young age. When you had the reverse track, was it like you come to the track and you're like, oh crap, like I don't know the course anymore, or were you like, yes, this is my time to shine because everybody's got a level playing field?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. You know, I like getting a new track 'cause I used to race asphalt, and after a while it got boring just racing the same track. So I like coming out there and just having a whole new track to learn. Has no advantages to because they haven't got to practice it.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so cool too. Like, in my opinion, like I always loved when the track was new and the track got super rough. Like that's where I shine the most because adverse conditions is what I like. I just like it when it gets super rough. Do you like that same thing?
I mean, I like it rough, but then again, I don't. But it's also fun whenever it's rough because you start bicycling the car and
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I saw when it was, I think it was actually your guys' moto, or maybe it was the pro stock class, but it had just rained and the track was like super icy. Was that in your moto?
No, it wasn't really there, but it was the race before then.
Oh, okay. So it was still slick when you guys went out there then.
Yes, sir. The first 2 laps were pretty slick.
Yeah, and then the track kind of came into its own. So you're talking about like that one moto, you basically got everything. You got super slick, just skating around, and then towards the end, like the last few laps, was when it started hooking up and getting on the bike a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely very slick after the first couple laps, but it started smoothing out and get better.
So what were you like? Faster lap times at the beginning or at the end? Like where do you shine?
I was definitely probably more faster towards the end because just I could handle the car a little bit better. But whenever it was slick, I could throw the car like in the turns better, and it just had their ups and downs.
Yeah, totally. I don't know if you were watching the show earlier, but we had Bella and Cruz Burchard on, and I was asking them if they know how to like 2-foot drive and like easy on the steering wheel. How do you usually go about your driving style?
Yeah, so I actually do try and 2-pedal drive most of the time because it's better for the car or my setup to have both more power out of the turns.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was noticing when I was watching you is you have really good rolling speed through the turns. Like you don't like check the brakes and then try to dart out again. You really try to keep it smooth and flow through the corners.
Yeah, that's my goal. Just trying to keep it smooth and know what's going on.
Yeah, well, you're doing a good job, man. How old are you again?
14.
All right, so you got plenty of racing left in you. Hey, what was your sketchiest moment of the weekend?
I don't know. I'd say probably my first race, just figuring out the car and all the new competition. But
Do you have any sketchy moments getting on the bicycle or like trying to like maybe blowing out a turn or anything?
No, I just really overjumped that one straightaway, but that was really all.
Were you scared or no?
A little bit. Car got real sideways.
Yeah, sometimes those will give you a little bit of a pucker moment, right? Some of those new jumps are pretty cool, though. I know that step up go like bucked a couple people, but it looked like it was cool because you step up and you have to hit it pretty fast, and then you got to jam on the brakes and make that inside turn.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's fun.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the track?
I would say probably the straightaways, or just having to, like, you had to know how to drive. It was very, you had to know how to drive, to handle the car. You couldn't just come out there and just full speed.
That's one of the things we were saying on the live feed is that, well, you mentioned it as straightaway, but there was like 2 really short straightaways. They weren't really ever straightaways because almost every single part of the track you were leaning on one side of the car, like either on off camber or turning the car. Like, so it was really, really busy course, so to speak, in the cockpit.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I liked it, but it was definitely a little bit different from all the previous tracks.
Yeah, totally. But you don't want just all straightaways, right? Because then it's way less battling with all your friends.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different because it's a lot tighter. You can't really turn passing the straights. That's really your only passing way. You have to be smart with your driving.
Yeah, 100%, man. So let's see here. Oh, what's your favorite part of side-by-side racing? We asked that to the other people as well.
I just like, getting to hang out with all the friends and supporters that come out there and help out with the car. And just if you break something, everyone's willing to help you out. They just help you out and get you through the race.
Yeah, like the camaraderie is really cool out there, right?
Yeah, it's great.
So do you plan on racing the entire series?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're also going to try and make a couple Mid-America Series races and just travel around, check everything out.
So it sounds like you got a pretty busy schedule for the rest of the year then, huh?
Yeah, that's what we hope for.
What's your goal for the whole year?
I'd like to get at least top 2 in the Outlaw Series, and that's my main goal, and just try my best in all the other places we visit.
Yeah, just keep getting faster and faster, right?
Yes, sir.
D Green 12 says Jaden's the best. Yeah, he's did a really good job this weekend, man. All right, final question of the night, dude. Tacos or cheeseburger?
Probably cheeseburgers, man.
Big cheeseburger guy? What are you trying to throw on that cheeseburger?
I don't know, just probably plain.
Dude, everybody in Texas going plain, man. Eddie went plain with all his stuff, plain chicken fingers. Now you're plain hamburger, cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
All right, buddy. Hey, well, I appreciate you coming on the show. You did a fantastic job this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you out at the races for round 3 and 4.
All right, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, see you, bud.
See ya.
Super cool to see how the kids do it, man. I don't know if we're gonna get any taco guys tonight. We'll have to see, man. Everybody's trying to. Luke Saffert, what's up, dude? It's really cool to see. Thank you guys all for joining. So yeah, please share this with all your friends. All of the fantastic people that have been coming on. Holly Mulligan is going to come on. So, Holly, if you're watching, please join us now. Brian Atkinson is going to come on. He's a race director and series promoter. He's doing everything to get everybody a fantastic venue to be able to go out and race. The series is just really, really cool. Lots of prizes and stuff for everybody. All right, let's get Holly on right now. And we'll get Brian to join us in about 10 or so minutes here. He can talk a little bit about it. So one thing that I got to say is Holly Mulligan is a massive, massive fan favorite. What's up, girl?
What's up?
Dude, I got to say, on the live feed over there at Texplex, everybody was commenting in. You got a lot of fans, dude. Family, friends, the whole deal.
Yeah, my family, they always just love to watch me. But my friend Izzy, she said the link to some group chats, so that's really who started it. So I have to thank her, because if she didn't, probably wouldn't have as much people watching me.
All right, Izzy, send it. You're hired. You can send all these Dirt Life videos to your group chats, please. Get us big numbers, girl. That's cool, though. That's support right there, right? And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier with some of these other drivers is, like, you got to have support for your crew, your car, all this stuff. But even at home, like, she's totally helping you out.
Yeah, she is.
That's rad. Hey, so the first round, the first 2 rounds of the season kicked off pretty well for you. How did things go?
Well, the first round on the first race, I went too fast on a bunny hop, I guess you could say, and landed on my side. I was first when that happened, so then I got knocked down to 4th, but I'm glad nothing broke that time. So, do
you get scared when stuff like that happens? Because those are pretty big mistakes, right? Because you tip over and you're on your side.
Well, last season, the first couple of times that it happened, it like 4 times. But after a couple times, I'm like, okay, well, if I know what I did wrong, I can improve on it and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
That's exactly what we were talking about on the show earlier is, how old are you again?
14.
Yeah, so being so young, you guys have the ability to, like, really just take in information and understand, like, are you good with constructive criticism? Like, if somebody tells you, hey, you know what, you were doing this wrong, are you like, you know what, I'm going to soak that in and do it right the next time? Or do you just, like, get mad at them?
I just kind of like listen to them and just like try and improve every time like I go in that one spot, or I just try and improve my.
So that's a massive positive in life in general. Josh from Cryo Heat just chimed in. Josh, yeah, we mentioned you guys a lot because you're sponsored by Cryo Heat, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was cool to see cool to hear you say that, because that's what makes humans in general good and racers even better is just being able to know what you're doing wrong, make corrections, and do it better. And the things that you're learning right now will go really, really far in your life in general because of the things that you want to improve in your racing. And those things will just inject themselves in your life in general. So I'm really proud of you for having an open mind and being able to understand what you can do better. That's going to really, really go a long way.
Yeah.
So the racing portion of it, kind of, I guess, it moved forward? Like you started getting faster through the whole weekend. What was some of the highlights you guys had?
Some of the highlights, um,
Well, winning.
like, well, winning obviously, but like just getting help from like my family and stuff, like helping me improve. Because like if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have pushed myself so hard. So I definitely like that my family gets to help me in this kind of thing, and I just get to like do this kind of thing because some people can't really do it. So.
Yeah, you're very lucky to be able to go out there and I guess go for your goals and go for your dreams, right? Motorsports are very expensive and it takes a lot of time and effort. So having multiple people that are helping you, like you said, your family and friends and everybody. I mean, you even got basically a media girl out there just hooking you up. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that you do have such a good backing. And you're driving an Arctic out there. Sounds like it was going fast, man. You had that thing pegged.
Oh yeah, well, I have to thank my dad for that because he just works on it a lot and he makes it so it can just go faster every time I go out to race. So I have to thank him for that. But I just
Who came up with the graphic scheme with the green lightning bolt on the side?
my mom came up with like the lightning bolt and the leopard. I came up with the color scheme, but I think I am gonna get it to where it's pink and purple.
Oh, look at you changing it up.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Probably pink. Or
Oh, I don't know who just chimed in, but they said hype girl Izzy. That's cool. Yeah, so you're gonna go with pink. I saw that you did have a pink seat in there.
Oh yeah, it's like orange and then it's leopard print with purple.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so it was a light color. Still super
Yeah.
cool looking, man. I can't wait to see what the new car looks like after you get it all dialed in. Did you have? Did I already ask you what your sketchiest moment of the race was?
No.
Yeah, what was it? Or actually, give me a sketchiest moment of the whole weekend.
Of the whole weekend?
Yeah, like what was the gnarliest moment?
Well, it was like for my first race like ever like of the season, it was definitely landing on my side because that sucked. But like on the
They got you back on your wheels though pretty quick.
yeah, they did. So I have to thank just everyone who like pushed me up to get back on the track for that. But like on the very last race of round 2, I almost wrecked again because I went too hard and my nose went on the ground pretty hard, so I could have rolled. So that was probably.
I saw that. So check this out. I was taking a I don't know. I don't want to be great. I was taking a restroom break from the live feed, and I walked around, and I saw you go over that step up like this, fully nosedive, and I was like, oh my God, please don't ruin it right now. Like pin it. Like please drive out of it. And you drove out of it, and I was like, oh thank God she made it. And then you just pinned it like you didn't even like nothing was wrong.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, and they're like, oh, we're good, and then I just like had to go. So I was like, okay.
Did you just keep it floored like panic rev so you could drive out of it or what?
Yeah, I guess. I like in the moment, I guess you could say. I was like, okay, and then like I was like, here we go. I'm probably gonna roll, and then it didn't. Then I didn't. So I was like, okay, so let's just go.
Yeah, it was super cool to see you pull out of it, though. Brian Atkinson, race director, race promoter.
What's up, Holly?
What's up?
Dude, it's good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know, man. It's been so long since we've had tacos.
Hey, so we were talking about like the track configuration and stuff. I know Holly liked it. Most of the other racers liked it. What did you think about it when you saw drivers like Holly going around the track?
You know, when we first made it, I was kind of like, well, this is way different from what we had last year. And I just kind of hoping not to scare off a lot of the people, but nothing but positive feedback, right, from everybody about the track and watching them go. And it was a little bit, let's say, rough at first because everybody had that natural instinct to turn and go around the canal when we were running backwards, right? So after everybody kind of figured it out and realized that there were some arrows there pointing you to go in the right direction, I think everybody figured it out, and it was awesome.
Yeah, totally. What was your favorite part of the track, Holly?
Probably the long straightaway in the back, because I, well, with me, it's either because I got stuck behind someone in the other race that was ahead of us. So Peyton, she caught up with me, but once I passed him in that straightaway, it was pretty good. And even if I wasn't behind him or anything, it was still pretty fun because I was like,
I think
and then
it's because Brian. I think it's because she can just let that Arctic Cat sing. When it gets on that top end, then she's just flying down that back straightaway.
I always know when it's her because you can hear that thing hum by you.
Dude,
Oh,
she
yeah.
she has a lead foot, man. She had that thing hammered down.
Yeah,
It was
for sure.
it was cool to see. You did have some pretty good battles on the track too, Holly.
yeah, I did, because last year I was used to going against Lacey and Tori, which they were great competitors, but they were turbo, so I was like always pushing myself with them. But like having people in round one when there were 4 people, I definitely felt more challenged, I guess, because there were 4 people. But in round 2, Liz and I forgot her name, but they weren't there, so it was just me and Peyton, which she was.
She kept you
behind me
pretty.
a lot.
She kept you pretty honest for a few laps
Yeah.
there, man. And she made a couple mistakes, but she still drove fantastic. Because after she got over those mistakes and she understood what she did, she really got back into her groove and kept you honest there. So there was no slacking for either of you guys. And what I was talking about with Jaden. Brian, was that a lot of the drivers like Holly and Peyton were really on the edge. Like they were always turning the car, right? You had to be really smooth because the track didn't have very many straightaways. You know, it had those 2 that, like Holly just said, but it was cool because it lent itself to such good racing, like for Holly and everybody.
Right, a lot more technical this for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was cool to see. Did you like? What was your favorite part other than the straightaways, then, Holly? Because I know that you sent it off that jump. Was that fun?
Yeah. On the box jump.
Well, you sent it off that step up. I don't know where the box jump was. I don't know what you're calling
Oh,
that.
yeah.
What about the Daytona turn? Because after that, it had a really sharp corner, so it changed everything up.
Oh yeah, I have problems on the sharper corners because I don't take them right sometimes. So I like kind of like go off the track, but I always try to like get myself back on the track as fast as I can.
What do you do when you know something like that? When you hear yourself say, like, so when I hear you say that, I think like, okay, well, she's probably telling herself something in her head to make sure she doesn't mess it up.
I'm like, okay, maybe next time instead of taking this line, I'll take that line. But if I can't really get it, I always ask my dad for help because he helps me a lot, or even my uncles. They help me a lot with that kind of stuff too whenever I'm having problems.
Who's your spotter?
My spotter?
Do you have a spotter?
Hmm?
Do you have a spotter? Somebody that talks to you on the radio when you're going around the track?
My dad, and sometimes my uncle. Not really, though. Just mainly my.
Okay, so he's able to give you some advice.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that you're learning so much, man. Do you go out and watch the pro races and see how they do their stuff? Because I know that Brian and I were trying to watch those guys when we could.
Yeah, we try to watch them whenever we can. It's always fun watching them because they're always like, just like
smooth like butter, right?
Yeah, they're like. I was like, oh wow.
You see what I just did there, Brian?
I see there. I see what you did there, buddy.
I was waiting for Holly to say something, but she didn't. So, all right. So, what's your favorite part about side-by-side racing, Holly?
Probably just like the community and just like racing, and like I just love everything about it and like to be a part of it all because my dad and my uncles, they definitely got me into this and I really love it. So, and the community and stuff, they're just nice. Like Jaden said earlier, like everyone's willing to help out and just everything.
Yeah,
So,
it really is cool. Like the whole thing, right? Like everything come together is really cool. So one of the things that we noticed, obviously, over the whole weekend is that you're a fan favorite. Brian gave us the opportunity to have the live feed over there. He put a lot of work into that with his team.
What an
and
awesome job you did, by the way, sir. I mean, my phone was ringing off the hook all day today about that live stream.
I appreciate it, man. It's super cool to hear. We were getting a lot of text messages and stuff. But the thing that I like the most is almost exactly mirroring what Holly just said. There was a ton of work that happened, all the camaraderie, all the people that put it together, you included, all the drone guys, and everybody, Zach and Josh that were sitting in there doing all the production stuff. But it gives the opportunity for racers like Holly, the pros, the amateurs, the kids, everybody to be showcased, right? So that to me was like a huge thing that I loved because we got to see a perfect instance of it that Izzy, Holly's hype girl, was able to broadcast it all over social media and showcase Holly. Like that's the perfect way to showcase racing and side-by-sides. That's my favorite part of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
I
What an
love.
awesome weekend it was.
Yeah, I love that. So, Holly, are you gonna start getting a sponsorship by Izzy, sponsored by Izzy on the side of your car?
maybe, because she was like earlier, she's like, make sure to bring me up, okay? So I was like, okay, I promise.
The hype man getting her fame right now. All right, so we got one more question for you, Holly. Tacos or hamburger?
Tacos.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we go. Somebody even commented in saying you better say hamburger. You totally did.
I was cracking up reading these comments.
So thank you very much for joining us, Holly. Can you please tell everybody who some of your sponsors are and stuff like that before you sign off? And we're going to get, I think, Colin Truett's going to come on next.
Yeah. Some of my sponsors is Diamond M and like Mislanka and Rockin' M Ranch and so much others. And they really helped me through all of this, obviously. And I would just like to just thank everyone who's helped me, like my sponsors, my family, everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, and having such a great track, we got to thank Brian too because he did such an awesome job with getting you guys able to race out there. So we're gonna see you at round 3 and 4. I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
How are the points looking for you?
Good so far. So
Got to keep it going, right?
yeah.
All right. Well, you did a kick butt job. Izzy obviously did a kick butt job marketing you this weekend. So we'll see you at the races next time. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
We'll see you later.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Brian, it's super cool to see. She obviously got a hype girl, but she's hyped herself, dude.
Yeah, she was the fan favorite, that's for sure.
Dude, it was so cool to see. So we're gonna get Colin Truett. Colin, if you're watching, jump on now and hang out with us a little bit. Like I said, the vibe of this whole show has just been how quickly all of the youth and all of the kids can change and like get going faster, especially on the technical track that you designed.
Man, it's all about the kids, right? Like that's probably my favorite way to start off the races in the day. Watch the kids go first. And I love watching them go around. I don't know if you saw, or you did probably see that clip when that one got stuck on the dirt mound and our checkered flag guy was racing to give him the checkered flag.
Dude, it was so funny. I'm going to continue on that same note real quick, Brian, but welcome Colin Truett to the show. What's up, Colin?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
hey, buddy.
Absolutely. So before we get into asking Colin some questions, I kind of wanted to talk about that because Brian was saying about the youth. Colin, I don't know if you saw it, but we had a kid get high center. I think it was number 18 in the Razor 170 class. I forgot what his name was, but he got high centered on one of the berms right there before the finish line. And Brian posted on the story, and I think I shared it too. But
was it the one that was stuck on his rear end?
No, it wasn't that guy. That was crazy though too. No, that was nuts though too.
This one was high centered on a dirt mound.
Yeah, why don't you finish the story, Brian?
Like 2 cars. Yeah.
This person was a new racer, and they were it was the last lap coming into the finish, and he high centered, and I hurried over there in my buggy to get him, try to shake him out, and Colin, our flag guy, the other guy, Colin, ran down there to help me, and we got him out, we got him free, and then he was trying to give him a checkered flag, and he just takes off without saying anything. Just takes off, and Colin's chasing him like, "Hey, wait, checker flag!"
He's full. I saw that. He's full dead sprint.
Yeah.
Trying to take the kid down and give him the checkered flag.
The kid was pinned though, and I was like, "Holy cow!"
And I think he actually kept going. I don't think he saw you, Colin, or I don't think he saw Colin, and he just kept going. We had to stop him.
I remember watching that. He was full dead sprint trying to catch up to him.
Talk about hype, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think that was his first race ever.
So, Brian, you didn't hear because you were out finishing some of the stuff up, but his dad and him came up. They were asking if they could ride or drive on the track afterwards, after the races were done as well. You already had the track crew working on it, so I had to tell him no. But, dude, he was like itching to keep going because he wanted so much practice and lap times, dude.
Yeah, that's great. That's what it's all about, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Colin, you had a fantastic weekend, dude. Eddie Ensign gave you a little bit of trouble for one of the motos, but man,
yeah,
you were pretty consistent most of the weekend.
It was a good weekend. I mostly just tried keeping it smooth and finishing races because last year was bad. But Eddie gave me a fit, and so did Chase Carr.
Yeah,
and those guys they're going to be tough to beat this year.
It's super cool to see, though. Like I was telling it in the live broadcast, I mentioned it a few times, and I told Jamie from Raceco, I said, this is the class that I want to be in because it's so competitive. Like, it's Brian, you can agree with this. It's a real driver's class because the vehicles are so matched.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was really, really good to see. This was the first time where we actually added some rules to this, and weights and motor rules, and so I was hoping for a little bit of a race, between these guys, and it ended up being a phenomenal race between these guys. And still good to see Mr. Truitt back on top.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it feels good for him. But you know what? All these guys are capable of winning. All 10 of them that were lined up, they're all capable of being right there. So it's going to be a great year watching these guys go.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting all kinds of comments coming in. They're going by pretty fast, so we'll try to answer some of them. Colin, when you're lining up against all of these drivers and you have these new rule changes, a fresh track that's running in reverse, like we talked about it a couple times on the show already, it's basically an even playing field, right? And there's different changes. How do you approach it?
I had to approach it with a little bit of confidence. That was it. I came to it, it's like, hey, I've been doing this for a while. I kind of know what I'm doing, so I had to I really had to get in my own head and not freak out. I was so nervous before that first race. Just a whole new field, new competition. I was nervous. I really was.
But that's what makes it racing, though, right? Like, you got to have that feeling because as much as you need to push through it, like once the gate drops or once the flag drops, like that's when you're in your office and you're doing work.
Yeah. As soon as the flag. So a couple things I've noticed the past few years is people come ask me about it, but when I'm waiting for the flag to drop, it is dead silence in the cab. It is just nothing but straight focus on the flag. And then when that green flag drops, nerves are gone. It's just nothing but racing and just finishing.
Man, talk about focus, Brian. Like, if he's saying it's dead silence there, you probably don't even hear the motor running or anything around you, huh?
No, because those Yamahas and those Hondas are just redlining beside me, and I've fully toned them out for the most part.
Dude,
it takes a lot of work to do it because those things are distracting.
I wouldn't have even thought of that, Brian. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's good that you can do that.
Yeah, it took a while.
So how did you end up over the whole weekend then?
Me, I went technically on paper. I mean, Eddie did beat me in the main event on Saturday, but on paper, since there was a little bit of problems on his side, I hate it for him. But I went 1-1-1-1 all weekend.
So you got the most points, cashing in on all the points. It's super cool. It puts you in a really good position to be able to win the series this year. But like you said, you have some stiff competition. I guarantee those guys are going to be gunning for you.
Oh, yeah. 2 years ago, there was the guy that won the first two races. He had problems, so it can happen to anybody. And Ronnie Anderson last year, he had problems after winning the first three, and it came down to the wire. So, I can't let off. I can't hang out, chill out, or nothing. But now that I have a little bit of a points cushion, I can start trying some things and testing some things and just seeing if I can, get faster and get better, because these kids are going to do it probably way faster than I am, and it's going to get rough it's going to get rough halfway through the year. For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So Brian, one of the things that I think is so cool, you've done a lot of racing and a lot of race promotion over the years. All of this new competition and the way that the series are now and how much racing actually happens on the track, lap times are close, like all of this stuff, kids coming up, it's insane. Like it's like really, really good racing.
It's so cool. I mean, my favorite part of this whole thing is watching these kids just do better and better and better. And now, like, you know, like I mentioned to you about Chase Carr, watching Chase. You know how we saw St. Peter reminds me of Chase Carr now. You know, so like now it's like all attention's going to be on Code out there racing and watching him get better and better and better, and hopefully, you know, we'll see him in the pro class here soon too. You know, it's so cool to see all this happening.
Dude, it's really cool. Like, I guess, you know, Colin, like, it's so cool to see that these guys can learn so much, like, and come up and battle with you. But we were talking about earlier, like, with Eddie, he was saying that, you know, like, oh, I go to the Miller brothers and I'll ask them questions and we'll get advice and they'll, like, direct me where to go. Pretty soon, he's going to be battling with those guys and, you know, you're going to all be competitors together. It's, like, crazy, right?
Technically, I still go to the Millers and ask them questions too. I still ask pros questions. I mean, I've still got a lot to learn myself, but I mean, the kids, they seem like to soak it up a lot faster than I am now. I mean, I remember when I started racing at 13, I was learning things just left and right that people were just like, how is he getting so fast, so quick? And it was just.
Well, if you can give any tips to some of the kids, because we were talking about like 2-foot drive and being smooth on the steering wheel, noticing how track changes, doing like better prep for the second motos in your car and stuff like that, forecasting the races. Like, what would you suggest to any of the kids to be able to do better to come race against you?
Learn what's comfortable with you, because I'm a 1-foot driver, which surprises a lot of people. But I mean, you got to learn what's comfortable with you, and you got to perfect it more or less, you know. Quiet down in the cockpit, just I don't know, focus on what you're good at and get better at it. Ask questions, pay attention to what other people are doing, watch videos. You know, I always run a GoPro and I watch a video every time and just try to learn from it. I mean, the live stream was so good this weekend that I watched it I don't know how many times just to see what other cars are doing and how they're reacting.
Hey, so Cash LaCroix just said, what is it like being fast? Brian and I both have that same question, man.
It feels good. It really does. And I know Cash is fast. There's no question there. And also Kanan Baker, he's fast as well. I can see him down there.
I bet you I can smoke you on that track with my Can-Am Defender, though.
Oh, with the tow truck?
Oh, you know I can get that thing around the track.
You know that track backwards and forwards. So.
Luke Safford says he's applying for some driving lessons, it looks like.
I've gave him a couple lessons already.
When you have time, do you ever talk with any of the other drivers and the younger guys?
Yeah.
Do they come up to you and ask questions?
A couple of them do. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I like these guys out here battling with me just as much as anyone. And Sometimes I'll tell guys in my own class and be like, "Hey, man, your car looked a little bit weird here. You might want to get that situated."
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the Saffords, I'm good friends with them. I'd like to think so, anyway. And,
good people.
They told me to jump in their car and take it for a lap or two and give them some feedback. So I jumped in it and gave them a little bit of feedback, some stuff like that. But
I don't know if Cash is being sarcastic. He said he's too afraid to race that big series, but Cash, you should come out and hang out. So what was the sketchiest moment of the weekend for you? And I asked this question because I know that you're a very smooth and very well thought out driver.
Yeah, I actually had a couple times this weekend that was just sketchy. Our dyno session before we even got there, we had some type of electrical issues pop up, which that's what plagued us half the year last year. And then Friday, I only got like 2 laps of practice in, and we had a coil pack wire go bad, and it took us 5-6 hours to find what the issue was.
Oh man, that's a really weird issue.
Yeah, so I mean, like Friday was just all day. We were working until like 10 o'clock trying to find that issue. And then during the race, Sunday, the main event, come over into White Snake section, and there was just a random wet patch of dirt, and we all hit it just going as fast as we could, and we
Yep.
all kicked sideways. We all hit dry dirt, and most of us were able to save it, but unfortunately, it didn't look like Eddie saved it.
Yeah, and then
that
even at
section where he,
the corner after that too, a couple guys went over.
yeah, that corner, I actually I watched the live stream before I went out and raced to see what the track looked like, and I saw that corner was just an ice rink. So
Yeah.
I kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know, Brian. See, people using the live stream to get advantages in their racing, man. It's awesome.
You got to use what's in front of you, man. You got to use your resources.
Yeah, data. What's been your favorite part of side by side racing in general?
Oh man, I don't know. I've been doing it for a long time. It's a good group of people. The Millers, Cheney. I know those guys. I've known those guys for a while. There's a lot of other people I've met through it. I mean, JD Baker. I'm staying at his house right now, technically, in Oklahoma. He's let me stay here. There's just so many good people we've met through racing, and
yeah, the camaraderie and being able to hang out with everybody willing to lend a hand. I mean, like I can guarantee there's been handfuls of times that you actually go and break something and don't have the part on hand, and then you just go to another guy and they're totally willing to help you out.
We've had a lot of that. I mean, I hate to say JD Baker's name a lot, but he was a huge contributor last year of our program, basically, because he had so many spare parts and was just able to help us and had tools and so much. But we've had people
shout out to the Bakers, man. JD's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to JD Baker. He is an awesome guy.
Yeah, it really is.
What was your favorite part of the whole weekend then? Because I know that you learned a lot, actually, especially in that second moto with Eddie giving you a little bit of trouble. I mean, what do you take home from the weekend and be like, all right, this is the most positive favorite part, and then this is something I got to work on?
Well, the best part was just seeing all the people happy for me to be doing as good as I did. I mean, for all the people that were like, man, it's so good to see you back up front. I even had competition that had been bad on me for a long time that were just happy to see me do good again. And that was awesome in itself. So that was a big moment for just see all these people.
And then do you go home, like, as you're driving to JD Baker's house, we'll give him another shout out. Do you drive over there and you're just like picking it through like a normal racer does, being like, all right, I got to do this better. I messed up here. The car can be better here. Like, what's the vibe?
I mean, I was thinking of different setups to get faster because I know some of these other guys are doing the same thing. If I come to the next round with the exact same setup, I'm probably not going to be as fast as I was last time. So,
yeah, totally. Brian and I are obviously just armchair quarterbacking it because we weren't behind the wheel like you racers. But one of the things that I noticed that really was a difference between some of the amateurs and the pros was forecasting what the track was going to do for the second motos, because some guys nailed it and some guys were horrible at it and weren't able to do it. So is that a big thing in your race program?
It's getting bigger. We used to race XC Woods Racing where, I mean, you just went out and raced. That was it. And with short course and stuff, you've really got to get your setup right. And we've really been focusing on how to do setups and stuff. And that's kind of why I was talking to Hunter Miller this weekend, trying to get information from him, and just, I'm still learning. So that's basically one thing. I've been doing this for 8-9 years and I'm still learning. So as long as you continue at it, you can keep learning.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And that's the racer goal, right? Like, you always got to keep moving forward. I mean, that's in any type of motorsport, but that's cool. D Green 12 said he'd like to think that he helped you out a lot because he took a bad luck from you.
We missed the Greens this weekend.
We did miss those guys. It's always nice to see those guys here at the track all the time. They're always super nice, but I don't want anybody to have bad luck in racing, but it's nice to get some of it off my back. So thanks.
Yeah. And you know what it is? It's I don't ever like to call it luck, right? Like, it's just something that happens. Like, whatever transpires through that year that you have bad, it turns into something good if you're a good racer and you can turn it around. Like, this year seems like it's already starting off very well. Unfortunate for Eddie, but like 1-1-1-1. It's starting off good, man. You just got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to talk about earlier is going into the Saturday main event. Eddie had a way better setup than I did, and that was just my mistake in not trying to adapt to what the track would turn out to. So I'm going to have to stay on top of that.
Yeah, that's
But,
good that you notice it though, and it's clear
Yeah.
that you were researching some video or watching the live stream to be able to see those things because
Yeah.
for most people it's hard to see because they're small changes, they're small setup changes, right?
It's just enough to make a difference. I mean, as close as the pro guys was, I think I got a photo from Harlan Foley, and it was like corner 7 or 8 or something, and there was 6 of us in the corner together.
Oof.
On lap 1. I mean, it's close, it's tight battling. So one mistake, you could lose like 3 positions just like that. So
Brian, so that means that, well, the track was obviously designed very well, but that means that if there's 6 guys in a turn, that means that they're at least 2 wide or even wider than that, right?
Yeah, there's some spots that are up 40, 50 feet wide on that track, and then there's some spots where it gets down to 25, 30 feet, but I mean, it'll open right back up again.
Yeah, totally. I see a lot of people commenting in that they want to come out to the races and stuff. Colin, what was a highlight of your of the track that you can talk to these guys and kind of try to lure them in to come out and race because that track was bitching.
that track was really fun. It was a driver's track. You know, it was if you had a little bit of skill where you could just get comfortable in your car, you could really have some fun. Most people had fun with the track. But the track was fun. The corners were tight. It was about, ebb and flow. A lot of people say it didn't flow, but I felt like it really flowed, and it just changed back and forth. You couldn't keep one consistent driver style. You had